Hi folks, it's Nick from Venture Minis. My LGS has a tournament coming up in a couple weeks and it's time for me to start preparing. Here's my top preparation tips that will get you ready for your kill team or other tournaments. First, if you're a new player, please sign up for tournaments. Don't be discouraged. My first ever kill team experience outside of a learning game was a local tournament. I lost every single game, but I learned so much in such a short time. My only suggestion is that you play on instinct. Play to learn rather than going slow to the point where you can't finish the game in the time limit. Your opponent will be more than happy to help you with rules questions since, frankly, you're likely giving them a win. It's a great learning experience. So first things first, before the tournament. The prep happens well before the tournament for me, and that's going to start with checking out the local meta. If it's at your LGS, you'll probably know the kind of teams you're playing against if you've been playing there often, and also the terrain that's available. If it's a huge tournament like Adepticon, you are going to expect a wide array of teams, as well as a healthy smattering of the current meta. Additionally, you can expect the terrain to be just like that found at previous GW tournaments that year. So, for example, LVO's terrain was really similar to Adepticon's terrain in 2023. But if your LGS doesn't have any Into the Dark, you're probably not going to see Into the Dark at the tournament. You can definitely ask your TO about this ahead of time. Additionally, I recommend practicing matchups against the big meta teams, especially those your teams suck at the moment. Like right now, I am grinding out games against Void Dancers since they are my Vet Guard's bane right now. When you lose, though, make sure that you're taking the time after the game to talk to your opponent, if they're willing. Losing is an opportunity. Your opponent is way more likely to talk through the game critically if you are the one who has lost. Losing against the teams that you suck at the most are really going to help you prepare for the tournament because that's going to get you in the headspace of, hey, I'm going to do a game, I'm going to learn from it, and then I'm going to move on. In a day with 4 games in a row, you're going to have to really build up that momentum and get used to either winning or losing and quickly moving on from that. The big teams to be looking out for as of October 2023 are Chaos Cults, Starstriders, Geller Prox, Warp Coven, Hired Heck, Breachers are always showing up at tournaments and doing well, and then of course Intercession is played most by far. Additionally, I recommend practice playing within the 2-hour time limit. Find a player who's interested in playing quickly and play games with intentional pacing. We like to do speed team at my LGS where we really don't pause. We pick an operative, we activate, then move on to the next. This helps build up your instincts, which increases your speed so that you can play at the tournament pace of 2 hours. Additionally, I recommend playing on boards that look like those from previous tournaments at the venue that you're attending. So your packet, which is going to be the big information sheet given out by the tournament organizer, the TO, may have the board layouts on it. If you're at an LGS, you can probably just ask the TO what kind of board layouts to expect, or if it's at a bigger venue, you can check the ones that were from previous years. So the night before and the morning of the tournament, there's some prep that needs to happen too. First and foremost, please sleep. Sleep is so important for making sure your brain works. I'm not going to put a bunch of studies here, but it's been done a lot for sports. It's been done a lot for competitive video games. Basically anything where you need to use your brain, sleep is important. So sleep the 8 hours, wake up a couple hours before the tournament starts, don't sleep in, and then walk to the tournament after sleeping just 4 hours. Get that sleep. Also, drink lots of water. Eat a filling breakfast, and don't take any substances unless you know that they're going to help you. I'm not saying use performance-enhancing drugs, but I'm saying don't drink coffee unless you know it's really worthwhile for you. Some people live on this stuff, but for me, it just makes me not think clearly, so just consider whether Starbucks is going to help you or not. Additionally, pack snacks. As I said before, breakfast is important, but so is keeping your energy levels up throughout the day. Brain food is a real thing. I load up on protein bars, but I also like to bring a banana or applesauce packets as well. I don't have a big appetite when I'm on the tournament sort of cycle, so making sure that I have things that I can eat even if I'm not particularly hungry so that I can keep those energy levels up. Then, at the tournament, you arrive, you walk in. I really recommend introducing yourself to folks before the games. Listen, I'm an introvert at heart, but this really helps set the tone. Ask them how they're liking Kill Team, what teams they have, compliment their paint jobs. You're there to have fun, and so is everyone else. I get social anxiety, so I make myself go and break the ice before I start any game, so I'm not sort of caught in any sort of anxiety when I walk up to the table. I can be settled in, I've met people, I'm in that space, I understand the vibe, and then I can just play the game and have a pleasant time. Especially for your first tournament. It's probably going to be nerve-wracking, so this hopefully will help settle you in and realize, hey, everyone else here is really probably pretty good people. I've never really had that many bad experiences at tournaments. Most people have been fantastic and have become friends for a long time. Additionally, I recommend taking the lunch break to go outside. I just said it was great to chat with people. However, during the lunch break, take a second to take a deep breath, go out into the outside, take some of that fresh air in, and just let your brain rest for a second. Let your voice rest for a second, since the venues can often be crowded and require you to shout. And by the fourth game of the tournament, you might be not able to speak well. So rest the voice, rest your head, eat a snack, and then get back into it. Additionally, I recommend trying to take your easy wins with grace. There are going to be new people to the game at pretty much every single tournament. You may win in 45 minutes and still have an hour and 15 left, but don't beat them up about it. Get your full VP game and then be nice. Ask them if they have any questions about your team or about the game. Thank them for the match, but don't beat a dead horse if they're not responsive. Some people, if they're losing, don't really want to be talking to a stranger, but some of them really find it helpful to have a full conversation about the game, and so give them that kindness if you can. But ultimately, this is a tournament. You're doing 4 games in a day, so if you need to, just take a step back, get ready for the next game, and keep going. Once the tournament's done, I recommend thinking about the games briefly. Write a couple notes down about each if you can, just so that you have it fresh in your head for what went well and what didn't go well. If you're going to think about any question for each game, I think the most important one is, what's something that surprised you? That's going to be the thing that you can do the most easy research on. Say it was an ability you didn't know about. Say it was a rule question that came up that was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Go check your rule book, check it out, read it, ask the community, look around on Reddit, see if other people have talked about this ruling or this team. Most often than not, it's just going to be something that you haven't heard about before. I've had plenty of times to show up to a tournament and then go, oh, that's a thing on this team? I had no idea. But it's also helpful for instances where maybe the ruling was unclear, and then you can really go back and say, oh, maybe this doesn't work this way. That way I can kindly point it out in future tournaments. Before I go, just one last tip. If someone is being rude to you in a game, or your opponent is making you uncomfortable, or you suspect your opponent isn't playing fairly, the best thing to do is call over the TO. Don't escalate the situation yourself. Don't spend time arguing. Just call over the TO. If a rules question exchange happens for more than 60 seconds, it's just worth calling the TO over. If you can't resolve a rules question with 4 sentences and a brief peek at the rule book, it will just be faster to get that ruling from a higher power. That way you can keep playing and finish your game on time. In friendly games at your LGS, it's definitely worth building up that conversation skill of talking about rules, being kind, using communication skills like, oh, I thought this was how it worked. I'm curious about why this might work this way, those sort of things, and really being able to talk about the rules in a constructive way. But at a tournament, you need to be able to keep your games within those 2 hours, and if your opponent is unwilling to talk about the rules in a constructive way, the TO is going to be the body who is able to ensure that your games continue. That is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Venture Minis. You can find out more from me on my Instagram at Venture Minis. That is going to be where I'm posting most of my mini progress. I know I've been gone the past couple months. I've been working. I have a real job that unfortunately I have to do, but my contract is up right now, so I got a couple weeks of being here and making some videos. So expect a bunch more of these to be coming in the next couple weeks. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I'm thinking potentially about doing some coaching. I don't know if this is of interest to anyone, but if you're at this end card and you're interested in being coach for Kill Team, let me know. Send me a little message on here, Patreon, or wherever. I think I can take DMs on Patreon or hit up my Instagram. That might be something I do. Have a great day.